Okay, back on the RCA. This is just a review of where I'm at. I'm done with the recapping process on the underside of the chassis. You can see here's the main filter cap. It's been replaced. As well as this can here. This was a single suction can. It was 150 microfarad at 350 volt. So I've got him tacked in here and taken that out of the circuit. This filter can here was restuffed. That's a 3-section cap, electrolytic. And this is the repair I made on what I was talking about in an earlier segment, where this terminal board broke. Just basically put in a new terminal here. And this had a 1.5 meg ohm resistor in it, and the schematic calls for a 22K, so that's what I put back in. So that's where we're at. Looks quite a bit different than what it was before. For example, this cap here is replacing this cap that was there before, so a little bit more room under here now. And a couple of other things that I've done. I took the flyback cage off and cleaned both the flyback cover as well as the flyback area. Put a new grommet in here. That is a new old stock horizontal output tube. Okay, and also replaced the rectifier tube. When I went to take the rectifier tube out, this is a, let's see, this is a 1X 2C, and as you can see, my the cap to it came off, so I'll have to re-glue that and then re-solder it. But I had one on hand, so I went ahead and just put a new one in. And what I'm doing now is repopulating the tubes, because I think what I'm going to do is fire this up, reassemble it and fire it up before we jump ahead and look at this printed circuit board, which I've done a little cleaning on. And as I look at this thing a little bit closer, I'm seeing some things that are really not very cool. Aside from the fact that there's a lot of replaced capacitors in here, you can take a look here. I don't know if you can see that, but you can see down in this area right here, there's a terminal down there that has a big blob of solder. So someone's been in here and reattached that to that terminal using solder. Looks like there's a reattachment here, and that may not even have any solder on it. But you can see this wire here is in very poor condition. And also, you can see on this blue wire, it appears that while they were trying to make this attachment here, they may have got their solder iron pretty close to that wire and melted it. I certainly didn't do that. I haven't done any work in this area of the TV. So that's a problem. I've done some research online on this set, and there is a way to unsolder this metal frame right here, and there's some screws that hold the bracket on, and you can pull this whole frame off the back and get to those leads. It's possible I might be able to get in there and do all the work that I want to do without actually detaching this printed circuit board completely from the set. So I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. What I want to do first is reassemble, repopulate all the tubes. All the tubes have been checked. I've either got new old stock tubes or good tubes, and do another baseline and see, you know, how the set performs now. That needs to be solved. That can't be good. And there's a few other spots on here that you can just tell there was some pretty shoddy repair work done. So what I'm going to do now is let's put it back together and see how it plays. Okay guys, got this thing back together. Let's do a little power up test. Hopefully we won't have any smoke or fireworks. Got a VCR signal attached, and I've got my meter getting ready to check B+. So let's see what we get, if we had any change at all. Any change at all from doing that work, recapping work under the chassis. Alright, got a raster. Got sound still. A little fine tuning.
No, it just had to happen.
Okay, vertical control. Brightness. Oh, we still don't have horizontal. So, not much change. Not much change at all. But we're not that far away, I don't think. So that just reaffirms to me that we're gonna have to break in this circuit board, get the circuit board out, and take a good hard look here. There's our B+, supposed to be 275 volts, a little light. Could have some resistors out of tolerance in here somewhere. But unfortunately it looks like a lot of these older caps I suspect are bad, and I'm really pleased. At first I thought I might have a problem with this tuner, but it's passing sound signal. I still think I'll disassemble that and take it apart and clean it real good. But it's passing the sound signal somewhere along the line here. Our video signal is getting corrupted, and this is when a really good time to use an oscilloscope to try to figure out what's going on here. But unfortunately right now I don't have a scope. My scope, the last one I had, finally took a dump on me and is no good, so I'm in the market right now to get a new oscilloscope. But I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is take some voltage measurements off these tube pins and see and compare it to the schematic and see where I might have some problems. But it's pretty clear I'm going to have to pull this board off. I was hoping to get away with not having to do that, but I guess it wouldn't be any fun if I didn't have to mess with all these wires in the circuit board. So that'll be the next step. So when I get started on that, I'll turn the camera on and show you guys how I'm going to go after that. But I don't think we're too far away. I don't think we're too far away at all. I think we've got some bad caps in here. I know all the tubes are good, so pretty sure I'm going to find some bad resistors in there too. There's a lot of resistors in there,
You're
and
gonna have to go get firewood and water and collect fruit.
that type of circuit board runs pretty darn hot. So also need to take a real close look at those pin sockets, tube pin sockets. Those are always a source of trouble due to the heat. So anyway, just want to do a quick recheck, and when I get started yanking this board off, I'll get back with you. All right, thanks for watching, guys. Hey, just real quick before I finally end this video, I mentioned that I was going to do some voltage checks on these tubes on this circuit board, and just thought I'd be clear for some of those of you out there may not know what I meant by that. And what I do mean by that is I'm going to insert the tube into one of these little holders. This sticks into where the tube would go, and then your tube sticks in here. And what I'm going to be verifying here is that this 8CG7 tube is actually seeing the voltages that it should see. This tube has two parts. It has the horizontal AFC on it, and then it also acts as the horizontal oscillator. Like I said in the last segment, I suspect I could have a problem with this control. There's also some resistors and caps associated with this circuit that I'll need to be looking at all these pieces that connect to this. So anyway, what I'm doing is have the set turned on, okay, and you can see I have that tube stuck into this little tube holder, and it has numbers right here, and you can see this is shows you what the pin socket number is, and then there's just a little place you can stick your meter in there. So I've got the meter set on DC volts, and so we'll come over to the schematic and take a little look at this tube, and we'll just go right straight to pin 1. And pin 1 comes from the 275 volt source. So pin 1, you won't be able to see that number on there, but I can. And I'm just going to stick it right on there. And you can see we've got basically 265 volts. So that's close enough. Moving on over here to pin 2, I should have a negative 25 volts. So I'm going to stick my meter on that. And we got negative 27. So that's good. Pin 3 should be 0.5 volts. And we're getting negative 0.4. Is that negative or is that positive? It doesn't matter, that's close enough. Pin 6 should have 175 volts. Right there is pin 6. And we're right on there. And pin 7 should have negative 75. And we got negative 77. So we're good there. So, you know, all I did there was just verify in this horizontal circuit that that pin tube socket is seeing the voltages that it should see. So if I had a scope, I could hook up and look at the waveforms right here, just to verify that the horizontal oscillator right over here is running correctly. So then I can eliminate some problems. And if I recap this and put all the resistors in, make sure all the resistors are in tolerance, and I still have the same problem, the next thing I would suspect would be that horizontal hold control, which I'm real suspicious of it right now anyway. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out. That's what I'm going to do before pulling this board off. Okay? Thanks a lot, guys. See you next time.